Hello, good friends, and welcome to welcome to Fridays with Fab Freddie. It's Friday, and it is after 5 o'clock here, so that means happy hour, and we're going to celebrate with a happy hour cocktail. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Of course, our Biloxi Little Theatre friends. I miss all of you, and I wish I could see you. Hopefully conditions will improve soon, and we can see each other again. Although the building is currently closed, Biloxi Little Theatre is still open at heart, and we still support the artistic community. To all of my happy hour friends, I'm happy to see you. I wish I could see you, but thank you for joining us as well. And all of those, there may be others who I don't know. We're glad you could drop in, and we're going to have some fun. If you don't know me, for some of you might be watching who don't know me, I'm Fred Thomas. I'm the Biloxi Little Theatre administrator and house manager. I'm also a travel consultant with a certified and authorized, I should say, and earmarked Disney agency, Love the Mouse Travel. I'm not a professional bartender. I do this for fun. It's something I enjoy doing, and I've been very lucky that most of you have been pleased with what I've offered of making specialty cocktails for the various productions at Biloxi Little Theatre. We sell anywhere from a half gallon to a gallon and a half up to 2 gallons per performance, per given performance, depending on the show and the audience. So I'm thrilled that I could make something that I like and that you've accepted as well. I try to be creative in my drinks. I research different recipes and cocktails, and of course most of the time I add my own twist and change it up a little. But thank you for appreciating what we've done, and I know you will appreciate what we're doing today, and it will be fun. Those of you from Biloxi Little Theatre who know me know that before we begin any presentation, I ask you to silence your communicators. Phasers on stun. Now that that's out of the way.
Hey Fred.
What's that?
Christine said she's glad to have a Rita with you.
Oh, thank you, Christine, for that, and this will be a version of that. And again, since Christine did ask a question, we do welcome your comments and questions as we go along. First, let me answer the question that I know most of you are asking yourselves right now, and that is, am I wearing pants? The answer is, yes, I am. I'm wearing, you can't see them, but I'm wearing house slippers, but real jeans. So now that that's done, let's start with our drink, our cocktail. This drink is basically a margarita with a red wine topper, and we're calling it the Cabaret. And I want to thank Brandon. I believe it was your idea to start this, to do this demonstration, and I want to thank my wife Erin for going along with it and encouraging me and convincing me that it is something I should do. And I thank you, Taylor, also for suggesting that we use Broadway names, show titles for our cocktail. And then we're calling this one the Cabaret because when you see the finished product, it's showy, it's colorful, it's bold, like the Cabaret. Let's start. First ingredient, let's start with lime juice. I like to use Nellie and Joe's Key West lime juice. You can use any lime juice, or you can squeeze your own fresh limes if you're not making many cocktails, just a few, and if you have the time to do that. I don't usually have the luxury to do that because, as I mentioned, we're usually making these by the gallon, and it would be almost impossible and very expensive to squeeze that many limes, and very, very time consuming. So let's shake this. We're going to add 4 ounces. I'd like to make enough so that Erin and I could have enough to share a couple of drinks after the demonstration. So let's start with 4 ounces of lime juice, which, let's take the top off. be better to pour than to squeeze. So about 4 ounces of that. And then we want to use equal part of triple sec. Triple sec is kind of an orange flavored liqueur. It does contain alcohol. It is a true liqueur. Usually about 15-20% alcohol, which makes it 30 to 40 proof, depending on the brand. If you don't have triple sec, or if you would like to lessen the amount of alcohol in your drink, I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but if you do, there's the option of making a simple syrup. You can make a simple syrup by combining equal parts of granulated sugar and water into a saucepan, heating to about a simmer, stirring until all of the sugar has dissolved and it's an even mixture. Of course, you would want to let that cool before you add it to your drink. But to make it more like triple sec, you can add, if you have some orange essence, a liquid essence of orange, or you could even grate some orange zest into it to add flavor.
Hey Fred, Sue says hi and she loves and misses you.
Oh, thank you, Susie. I miss you too, and thank you for being here.
And Leonie wants to know if she can drive by to get a sample. She knows where we live.
Absolutely. Well, I'll have enough for you as well. Okay, so we're doing an equal 4 ounces of the triple sec. And now we'll add our tequila. For this drink, I like to use a silver tequila. If I'm making just a Fab Freddie Mad Margarita on its own without the wine topper, I usually use a gold tequila. It has a little more zest, a little more flavor, a little bolder. But for this, we want something that's a little low-key, more low-key, to blend better with the red wine that we're going to make it with. So something that's a little lighter in flavor. I like to use, for ratio purposes, 1.75 times tequila of what we use for our lime juice and triple sec. So we have 4 ounces of this, so I'm going to use 7 ounces of tequila. You can use an equal part of tequila if you want it less, not as strong. Use 4 ounces of tequila. If you want to do 1.5 times tequila, use 6 ounces. For this purpose, we're going to use 7. Now, you don't have to use an expensive tequila. Save your money for when you're drinking a liquor in a purer form, whether it's straight up or on the rocks or in a simple highball with only one mixer. But for this drink, you don't have to have an expensive liquor. Or as in the triple sec, you could also use Cointreau or even Grand Marnier, but you don't need to spend the extra money. If you have something that's decent, like this tequila is inexpensive, but it's made from the agave plant, grown in the state of Jalisco in Mexico, which is one of the prime producing areas for the blue agave plant, which tequila is distilled from. Okay, now we have those ingredients in there. We're going to top it off. This is the secret ingredient that rounds out the flavors of the drink. This is agave nectar. It's a syrup, and it's also extracted from the blue agave plant. It's a sweet syrup, and you don't need much of this, just an ounce or two, and you should be able to, when you take a sip of your drink, you should be able to taste a little sweetness on the back of your tongue. And it also serves to balance the flavors and kind of balance the acidity of the lime juice and the tartness of the lime juice. So this is a stirred cocktail, not shaken. So we're stirring it well, and you want to stir it well because the agave nectar is a syrup, and you want to make sure it's all blended in well. Okay.
Caitlin wants to know if you deliver.
We'll have to work on that. Thank you, Caitlin.
And Judy appreciates you doing the math for everyone.
If you have trouble with that, just message me and I'll help you with the math. It is time now to fill our glasses with ice and pour the margarita portion of our cocktail. So we want to have a lot of ice.
Fred, Ronnie wants to know, could you use honey or a syrup?
Yes, you could use honey. You could use honey or molasses instead of agave nectar. I think it's more authentic to use the agave nectar, but certainly you could use any other sweetener. You could even use sugar if you want. And I talked about not having to spend extra money on the higher end brands. You don't have to go top shelf. As long as they're good. Sometimes if you're out in a restaurant or a bar and the margarita is really bad, it's probably because they are using not a good tequila at all. And they're probably using a mix that's mostly artificial sugar or sweetener and our high fructose corn syrup and probably an artificial lime flavoring. So that's what makes them bad. Okay, let's give this another little stir since we had it sitting for a minute. Are we having fun so far? Let's take a fun check. Raise your hands if you're having fun so far. Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Okay, let's pour our margarita. And now we're ready for our red wine topper. I like to use a Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is a lighter bodied red wine and it blends nicely and balances with the flavors of the margarita we made. You could use a Merlot. I would not recommend going any heavier than that, like a Malbec or Cabernet. Those fuller bodied wines, although they are good on their own, they would not blend as well and balance as well with the flavors, and you don't want the wine to overpower what we've made with the margarita. So I like to use a Pinot Noir. We just do a couple swirls on top. And now you have a beautiful layered cocktail. And we can garnish it with some lime wedges or lime slices. And there we go. And let's don't leave out. Let's decorate it with a few of our monkeys here. These monkeys, I don't know how well you can see them. They're tiny. But they're from one of our favorite bars in the world, the Swizzle Stick Lounge, inside the Best Western Hotel on Okaloosa Island in Fort Walton Beach. It's a cozy, intimate bar with live entertainment. The customers are mostly service industry people and not necessarily tourists, and it's more like a family setting, and there's live entertainment. Aaron and I call it the 20-butt bar because there are only 20 seats. It's like I said, it's cozy and intimate, but it's a very fun place. Okay, now we're ready to serve. Voila. Have I left anything out? Let me check my notes to make sure I haven't left anything out. We said all that. Okay, I think we covered everything. You might want to give it just a little stir before you take a sip, so you're not just drinking the red wine on top, that you're blending the flavors. Now before we take a sip, let us remember the happy hour motto, and this is for you, Susie, and Mitch, if you're watching. I love to drink martinis, 2 at the very most. 3 and I'm under the table. 4 and I'm under the host. Kangaloosh. Woohoo!